All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, and I've got a comprehensive breakdown of what the rest of this winter is going to look like across the United States. February is shaping up to be a month for the record books, and I need to walk you through everything that's coming because the pattern we're locked into shows no signs of relenting anytime soon. Let me start by putting this winter into historical context because what we're experiencing right now is genuinely remarkable. The comparisons to the legendary winter of 2013-2014 have become impossible to ignore. That winter featured 27 significant storms tracked by the Weather Prediction Center, repeated Arctic intrusions, and the most significant polar vortex disruption in decades. The blizzard of 2013 in February dropped 36 inches on parts of Connecticut, 40 inches in Hamden, and nearly 25 inches on Boston. Atlanta's Snowmageddon in January 2014 paralyzed the metro area with just 2.6 inches because temperatures were so cold that nothing melted. We're seeing the exact same pattern unfold this winter. The polar vortex has been disrupted and fragmented, sending lobe after lobe of Arctic air plunging into the lower 48. Every piece of energy that drops out of Canada finds abundant cold air waiting for it. The result has been storm after storm after storm, each one delivering accumulating snow to different parts of the country while temperatures remain stubbornly below normal across the eastern half of the nation. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. The jet stream pattern tells the whole story. We've got persistent troughing over the eastern United States with a massive ridge locked in over the west. This configuration has led to above-average temperatures on the west coast, while the east shivers through one of the coldest stretches in recent memory. It was literally warmer in St. Louis yesterday than it was in Orlando, Florida. Freeze warnings have been in effect for almost the entire Florida peninsula. This is extraordinary. Looking at the snowpack on satellite imagery right now, you can see the evidence of this historic winter stretching from Maine and eastern Canada all the way down into the Piedmont of the Carolinas. Snow remains on the ground in the Delta region of Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee from storms that hit weeks ago. The cold has been so persistent that nothing melts. Each new storm simply adds to the existing accumulation. Now let me tell you about what's happening right now and what's coming over the next several days because we've got multiple systems to track. Today, Wednesday, February 4th, a storm system is pushing through Virginia and reaching the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. This system started in the Ohio Valley on Tuesday, dropped accumulating snow across Indiana, Ohio, and West Virginia, and is now working its way into the mid-Atlantic. Pittsburgh saw snow this morning. The D.C. metro area and Baltimore are dealing with accumulating snow as we speak. For Washington, D.C. specifically, accumulations of a coating to around an inch are expected. In a region that handles winter weather poorly, even that modest amount creates significant problems. The Beltway becomes a parking lot. The metro struggles to keep running. Federal offices consider closures. Baltimore is in the same situation with similar accumulation expectations. Richmond and Virginia Beach are also seeing snow from this system today. The Tidewater region that just experienced historic snowfall this past weekend is getting another coating to an inch or two. Norfolk, Elizabeth City, and the Hampton Roads corridor all fall within the impact zone. The snow from the weekend hasn't fully melted, so whatever falls today adds to the existing pack. The Piedmont of North Carolina, including Raleigh, Durham, the Triad, and Charlotte, could see snow showers today as cold air catches up to the departing system. Accumulations are light, maybe a coating to an inch in favored locations, but it's something to watch. Charlotte could see some flakes flying by this afternoon before conditions clear. Now here's what has me really focused. A major winter storm is developing for Friday that's going to dive out of Canada and potentially bring significant snow all the way down to the Carolinas. This is a much more substantial system than what we're dealing with today. The Friday storm is coming out of the Hudson Bay region of Canada with serious cold air support. This is a stout clipper, almost having multiple parts to it with a leading wave followed by a main wave driven by a powerful jet streak. That's a lot of energy that could produce significant snow across a wide area. Let me break down what to expect by region for this Friday system and the weekend that follows. Starting in the Great Lakes and Midwest, Wisconsin is going to see this storm first as it drops out of Canada Thursday night into Friday morning. Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay all need to be watching closely. Accumulations of 3 to 6 inches are possible across southern Wisconsin, with higher amounts in the lake-enhanced zones. The Friday morning commute is going to be challenging. Michigan gets hit Friday morning and afternoon. Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing, and Flint are all in the impact zone. Western Michigan sees the storm enhanced by Lake Michigan moisture, potentially adding several inches to totals. Grand Rapids and Muskegon could see 4 to 8 inches when you factor in lake enhancement. Detroit is looking at 3 to 5 inches. Indiana catches this system Friday afternoon. Indianapolis could see 2 to 4 inches. Fort Wayne and South Bend are in better position for higher totals given their northern location and lake proximity. The Friday evening commute across Indiana is going to be problematic. Ohio is squarely in the path of this Friday storm. Columbus is looking at 3 to 5 inches. Cleveland could see 4 to 7 inches with Lake Erie enhancement. Cincinnati is on the southern fringe but still looking at 2 to 3 inches. The entire I-70 and I-71 corridors are going to be challenging Friday afternoon and evening. Pennsylvania faces significant impacts from this Friday system. Pittsburgh is looking at 4 to 6 inches. Philadelphia is in the 2 to 4 inch range. The interior of Pennsylvania, including State College, could see 5 to 8 inches. Harrisburg and the Susquehanna Valley are looking at 3 to 5 inches. The Northeast sees this storm arrive Friday afternoon and evening. New York City is looking at 2 to 4 inches with slightly higher amounts on Long Island. Boston could see 3 to 5 inches. Hartford and Providence are in similar ranges. Albany and the interior could see 5 to 8 inches. The Friday evening commute across the entire I-95 corridor from Philadelphia to Boston is going to be impacted. Now, here's the critical part for my viewers in the Southeast. This Friday storm has the potential to bring significant snow all the way down to the Carolinas. The track on this system could allow accumulating snow much further south than a typical clipper. Virginia is firmly in the impact zone for Friday. Richmond could see 2 to 4 inches. Norfolk and the Tidewater are looking at 1 to 3 inches. Northern Virginia and the D.C. suburbs could see 3 to 5 inches as the storm tracks through. The Shenandoah Valley is looking at 4 to 6 inches. The mountains of North Carolina and West Virginia are going to see significant snow from this Friday system. Asheville could see 4 to 6 inches. Boone and the High Country are looking at 6 to 10 inches. Charleston, West Virginia, is in the 4 to 6 inch range. The Piedmont of North Carolina is where the forecast gets really interesting. Charlotte could see 2 to 4 inches from this Friday system. Raleigh and Durham are looking at 2 to 4 inches as well. Greensboro and Winston-Salem are in similar ranges. These are the same areas that just dug out from a historic snowstorm this past weekend. Another significant accumulation on top of what's already there creates compounding impacts. Columbia and Greenville in South Carolina are on the southern fringe, but not out of the woods. An inch or two is possible in the upstate. Columbia could see a coating to an inch depending on exact track. For the weekend outlook, Saturday sees the storm system exiting the northeast with lingering snow showers and lake effect snow bands. Lake effect snow will be significant downwind of the Great Lakes through Saturday and into Sunday. Buffalo, Syracuse, and the Tug Hill Plateau could see an additional 6 to 12 inches from lake effect alone. Sunday brings a brief break for most areas, but another clipper is already loading up in Canada for early next week. The parade of winter storms shows no signs of stopping. Looking at the broader February outlook, this pattern persists through at least the next 7 to 10 days. The Arctic Oscillation remains negative, meaning cold air continues pouring into the eastern United States. The North Atlantic Oscillation is also negative, creating blocking that keeps storms suppressed to the south and maintains the cold pattern. Temperature departures through mid-February show the eastern half of the nation running 10 to 20 degrees below normal. Florida continues experiencing freeze warnings. The Gulf Coast shivers through conditions more appropriate for January in Ohio than February in Louisiana. Meanwhile, the West Coast enjoys above-normal temperatures under persistent ridging. Around 10 days from now, I'm seeing the first signs of potential pattern change. Ridging starts to build back into the eastern United States while troughing develops out west. This is a classic setup for a major storm system. A Colorado low could develop and track northeast, bringing the potential for significant weather, including possible severe storms in the warm sector and heavy snow on the cold side. This pattern flip could also usher in the first taste of spring air for the eastern United States by mid-February. Temperatures could surge above normal briefly before the next cold shot arrives. But for now, winter remains firmly in control. Let me give you city-by-city predictions for major metros as we head through the rest of February. Chicago is looking at multiple rounds of snow through mid-February, with temperatures remaining 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Expect 8 to 15 inches of additional accumulation over the next 2 weeks. Detroit faces similar conditions with lake effect enhancement adding to totals. Another 10 to 18 inches is possible through mid-February. Indianapolis is in the path of multiple clipper systems. Expect 6 to 10 inches of additional snow over the next 2 weeks with persistently cold temperatures. Columbus and Cincinnati face repeated snow chances. Columbus could see 8 to 12 inches additional. Cincinnati is looking at 5 to 8 inches. Pittsburgh is squarely in the clipper track. Another 10 to 15 inches is possible through mid-February. Philadelphia and New York City face multiple systems with 6 to 10 inches additional expected through mid-February. Boston could see 8 to 12 inches additional as storms track up the coast and through New England. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore face 4 to 8 inches additional through mid-February from multiple minor systems. Charlotte and Raleigh, having just experienced historic snow, could see an additional 3 to 6 inches through mid-February from Friday's storm and potential subsequent systems. Atlanta remains on the fringe, but could see additional flurries or light accumulation if storms track favorably. The comparison to 2013-2014 becomes more appropriate with each passing day. That winter seemed endless with storm after storm and cold that wouldn't break. We're experiencing the same thing now. Snow accumulates and doesn't melt. Each new storm adds to the pack. Some areas of the Northeast and Midwest could see snow on the ground continuously from now through early March if this pattern persists. For travelers, February is going to be challenging across the eastern half of the country. Air travel disruptions will be frequent. Highway travel requires extra caution and preparation. Keep emergency supplies in your vehicle. Allow extra time for any trip. For homeowners, the persistent cold means increased heating costs. Make sure your pipes are protected. Keep ice melt and shovels ready because you're going to need them repeatedly. For communities still recovering from the ice storm that hit Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana weeks ago, this continued cold is devastating. Tens of thousands remain without power. The death toll from that storm has exceeded 100, making it the deadliest winter event since the Texas power crisis. Stay warm out there. This historic winter still has significant chapters to write. The cold and snow will eventually end, but not before February delivers several more memorable events. I'll be tracking every system and bringing you updates as conditions evolve. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any critical information. Winter 2026 is one for the record books, and we're still right in the middle of it.